Now, Atlanta, what are y'all doing to my algorithm? Because one of the things about algorithms is that it takes a liking to whatever you look up. So now I got all this freaky stuff, no pun intended, all over my algorithms simply because I'm a student of hip hop. Mm-mm-mm. Now, what am I specifically talking about? Of course, we got to get into the documentary that's coming out on Hulu titled Freaknik, The Wildest Party Never Told. Now, let's get into some backstory with Freaknik, right? Because I was flabbergasted on what it actually meant. Obviously, this happened in the 1990s, so I wasn't even born yet. But had a lot of people talking about this, saying that your mama was probably not was probably at Freaknik, your auntie was probably at Freaknik. I mean, y'all finna see some of the wildest stuff at Freaknik. Now, this documentary is on Hulu, so I don't think it'll get too wild, right? But apparently, this was at a small park picnic conceived by Spelman and Morris Brown students near the Atlanta University Center in 1983. So this is when it was created, 1983. And then quickly transformed into one of the biggest events of the year by the time the 1990s rolled around. And basically, the whole event was for local students to have something fun that couldn't afford to return home during spring break. That is what it originally started off as. Now, of course, what a lot of people would probably say is, you know, whenever you make an invention, there's no telling how that invention is going to evolve. And boy, did Freaknik evolve into something. It started to attract students from other campuses, non-students, and celebrities, and grew to have 200,000 attendees annually. Let's just pray to Lord Jesus that your mama or auntie was not one of them. So anyways, the event obviously was documented. This was back in the day where, I don't know why, people thought that because of the advancement of technology not being at a certain place, they wouldn't have any film. But this was in the 90s. It wasn't like people was talking like this event happened back in the 60s or 70s where they really couldn't get no footage. But this happened back in the 90s where cameras was definitely already invented and being improved upon. So there's some stuff that we could see in this documentary that people thought would never be captured for the public to witness. So anyways, the director of this documentary, P. Frank Williams, emphasized that Freaknik is at its heart a music document. I swear you can't make this stuff up. I mean, obviously it could be because, you know, at some point, a lot of heinous things happen at Freaknik, not to make this too serious, but can't really show that unless you want to get sued, right? So saying that it's a music documentary makes sense, especially all of the features on here, which I think I just showed the feature list. Only reason I'm playing this, because I was going to go through the album, but they play like, I forget what it was called, but basically they played a track that I'm not trying to get copyrighted on. So, let me see. Executive produced. They show the executive producers. Oh, here we go. Okay, so as you see right here, dang, they went through that quick. They wasn't trying to give them no shine. All right, here we go. So we have Jermaine Dupri, Uncle Luke, 21 Savage, and these are just like the documentary features. You know, it's not like the main people. Lil Jon, Jalen Rose, what he got to say about it? All right, Killer Mike, Too Short, Eric Sermon, and CeeLo Green. Those are just some of the notable features of this documentary. Because with P. Frank Williams, he is declaring that this is a music documentary, and said that he's exploring key players like Luke and Dupri, and is going to dive into the cultural impact. Boy, did it have a cultural impact. The eventual downfall, attributing to factors like violence, overcrowding, city planning, and concerns surrounding the 1996 Olympics. I don't know what that has to do with it, but I guess we'll see in the documentary. The biggest thing is probably the release date. The documentary is said to come March 21st. Okay, so March 21st is the set release date for this documentary. And best believe me, I'll be watching it. I ain't gonna lie, I'm trying to see something. Like, I'm trying to see what in the world this document or this whole event was so impactful, or why it was so impactful, and why do everybody talk about this just being the straight up most promiscuous infused event ever created. You know, there's other situations where you could just say it's not that bad or whatever, but Freaknik seems to have captivated the masses, because granted, it happened in Atlanta every single year. People came from all over the world to come to this one event, and the attendance, as I said earlier, was around 200,000 attendees annually. So this means people kept coming back for more, right? So anyways, that's basically it. I mean, they say that Freaknik is going to go beyond the parties. So I think they're not going to try to focus too much on the, promiscuous nature of maybe your mom or auntie. They're probably going to get more into the Black empowerment, culture, realization. What else? Probably the darker sides of Freaknik, including police brutality and violence. Man, forget all that. Let's get into the jokes. So anyways, people on the internet had a blast with this announcement, basically saying that, let's see if I can find this. Somebody said, pausing the footage of the Hulu documentary to show your homeboy what his mama and auntie were doing in spring '95. Yeah, I thought I was joking. Everybody's saying somebody's mama and auntie is going to get exposed. Could be yours. Anyways, let's keep going. So, somebody else said, thank God we used to do all our dirt before social media and digital cameras. Woo, couldn't be us. And then Hulu making a Freaknik '94 documentary, and then shows the Usher meme. Watch this. Now, if you want to see this, of course, Analytic Dreams video on Spotify for the video along with the audio. That's just ridiculous. And then one final comment that I just thought was hilarious was, let's see, pull this up. I see Hulu is going to have a documentary about Freaknik. I bet it's a lot of shook ones who are praying they aren't on film cutting up. Now me, I'm glad I'm not old enough to have been a part of that scene. She didn't even say she didn't want to go. She just said I wasn't old enough. She said she was ready, but not age-wise. So that's anyway, that's unfortunate. Hopefully, she realizes what she missed out on when this documentary comes out. But anyway, that's basically it. I'm not gonna talk too much about this. Basically, just a little promotion for this documentary coming out, releasing March 21st on Hulu. Hopefully, y'all enjoy it, and hopefully, you don't see your mom and auntie. But hey, statistically speaking, somebody's gonna be disappointed. And surprised, let's just say that. So anyways, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about this whole Freaknik documentary coming out on Hulu March 21st? And when it eventually comes out, will you be watching?